This video is about solving rational equations like the one seen below. 3 over 5x minus 4 over 3x equals 1/3. The first thing you need to do whenever you have a rational equation is to state any restrictions. What a restriction is any value of x that is not allowed in the domain. So if you take a look here, the value x equals 0 is not allowed because we would be dividing by 0. The next thing you need to do is identify the LCD. In this situation, the LCD is going to be 15x. It's the lowest common denominator. And what we're going to do with this LCD is we are going to multiply every single term we have by the LCD. And what this is going to do is it's going to put us in a position where we can get rid of all of these fractions so we can solve this problem So once we've multiplied everything by the LCD, what we can do is cancel out all of the denominators. So 5x can simplify with 15x, and we're left with 3. 3x goes into 15x 5 times. 3 goes into 15x 5 times. So then how you simplify this is you multiply all of the numerators together. 3 times 3 is 9, minus 4 times 5 is 20, equals 5x. And now we just solve this problem like we normally would, by isolating x. So then our final answer is x equals negative 11 over 5. And as long as this answer is not a restriction, you're fine. If this answer is a restriction, then you're going to end up with no solution. Here are the steps to solving the rational equations. So the first thing you do is you state any restrictions, any values that x is not allowed to be. Otherwise you'd be dividing by 0. The next thing you do is you find the lowest common denominator, the LCD. Third step is to multiply each term by the LCD, so then you can cancel out all of your denominators. Multiplying by the LCD gets rid of all your fractions, so then you can solve for x. What I want you to do now is to try to solve this problem, 4 over x minus 3 over x plus 1 equals 1. Follow the 5 steps of solving rational equations to find your answer. So hit pause, solve the problem, and once you think you have your answer, hit play and my solution will show. We have 2 restrictions for this problem, x equals 0 and x equals negative 1. Both of those are the values that if you plug them into the denominator, you'll get 0. The LCD for this problem is x, parentheses x plus 1, and then multiply everything times x plus 1. Cancel out your denominators, so then you're left with 4x plus 1 minus 3x equals x squared plus x, and then go through, solve for x, take the square root of both sides, you end up with 2 answers, x equals plus or minus 2. Rational equations can also look like the problem we have here, where we have one fraction on each side of the equal sign. The process of solving this one's a little bit different, but we still start off in the same way. We need to find the restrictions first. So we're going to have at least 2 restrictions. The first one comes from 2x minus 2. That's not allowed to equal 0. So then our first restriction is x equals 1. And then the next one would come from x squared minus 1, our second fraction. That one's also not allowed to equal 0. Here we would have two values. X equals plus or minus 1. So our restrictions for this problem are going to be positive 1 and negative 1. The first step to solving these types, where we have one fraction on one side of the equation and another fraction on the other, is to cross multiply. So you're going to take this denominator, you're going to multiply 5 by x squared minus 1. And then you're going to take the other denominator, 2x minus 2, multiply the other denominator, or the other numerator. So 5, 2x minus 2. And now we are going to distribute on both sides. And solve for x. The first thing I'm going to do to make these numbers a little bit smaller is I'm going to divide everything by 5. So I end up with x squared minus 1 equals 6x minus 6. X squared minus 6x plus 5. The reason why I did this is now, if you have a quadratic equal to 0, you can factor. X minus 5 and x minus 1 equals 0. So when I'm solving this, I'm going to get x equals 5 and x equals 1. The problem I have here, one of my restrictions, x is not allowed to equal 1, so x equals 1 is not an answer. My only answer to this problem is x equals 5.